Yeah, hello there and welcome back, and let us continue. And in this lesson we are going to test this particular product screen which has the list or the grid of the product. So you can see we have some products over here and we'll be testing this one over here. We will see how we can test this particular image view and some text over here, and we will see how we can scroll and test the particular scroll view over here. And what we will do is let's go to the dependency over here, and in the dependency I have added the Flutter stage grid view over here, which is this particular grid view. And also I have added a mocktail image network, which is of the depth dependency, and this will help us to write the test case for our mocking the image of this one. Because if you go to this particular product list screen, and you see we are using the image.network, and this image.network will actually go and call the real network whenever we pass in the URL over here. So in order to mock this one, we will be using this particular package, which is of mocktail image network, and this will help us to mock that particular network call for our image over here. So once we have that, what we will do is let's go and get started, and I will go to the product screen. And let's create a test for this one. Let's create a test, and let me remove this one. And if you go to this particular list view, product list view, you will see that we are watching this particular controller over here, and it is also calling that particular function over here. So it's also calling that get product from our controller over here. So what we need to do is, if we go to the controller, you will see that this has a dependency of this particular class, which is of the product service. So when we see that dependency, which means that we need to mock that particular dependency. So let's go to the test, and let's create that particular dependency. First of all, add generate the generate the nice mocks. And here it takes the list, so we'll just say mock spec, and then we'll pass in the type each of the I product service. So let's pass in that one, and then we need to run our let's open up the terminal, and we need to run that particular command. So let's go and run the command, and just hit enter over here. That should generate the mock class for us. So let's just hold on till it runs, and once that particular mock class is generated, we are good to go. So let's go over here and create a let variable of I product service over here, right? And that should be of a mock I'll just say mock I product service 2. And then we'll also create a let variable of the map. Let's create a map of the string and the dynamic over here, and that will be of a type of a query, because we need to pass in some query later. And also we'll create another one of the let variable of the product model, and that will be of the product model. So if you go to this particular controller, here we are getting that particular product model over here, list of the products, and then we are adding it over here. So we need to fill in all of this information. That's why we need to also get all of those information over here. And after that, we'll also have the setup function, and in the setup what we need to do is let's create this particular let's initialize our mock object over here. That will be of the mock I repository service will be of equals to the mock I product service. Okay, so that's it's not the correct. So mock, then the I product service. Where is that one? I couldn't find that. Mock I product service, right? So it should be of the mock I product service, and it's not there. So let me import this one, and that should be okay. So once we have this mock class, we also need to generate the query. So query, and which is of equals to let's go to this particular controller, and we are using this particular query. So let's grab this one from here and let's paste this one, and the page per page will be, because this is a paginated query, so we'll be using a per page 20, and the page number, let's just send the first page number, which will be of the 1. And once we have that, we will have another one is a product model, and this product model we can get it from our this particular product model. So this is the product model that we are actually having. And if you go to this controller, and if you go to this get product service over here, and in this particular class, you can see that when we are calling that particular API, it's going to map it to the our product model over here. So it's the response is actually mapped with our internal product model. So we need to generate this product model too if you want to return it from here. So this is actually returning this product model, so we need to generate that one. So the product model is already there in the mock data, so we'll be using that one. And let's set this one as a asynchronous function, because we are going to await it over here. And I'll just say get the get product model test, and let me import this one, and that is defined over here. So get product model test is defined over here. So this is getting us the test data, that is it's reading this particular JSON file. So once that it is done, let's close this one too. And once we have that, I guess we are good to go. So next thing is that we need to mark that particular object. So let's say just keep it as a product screen for now. I guess a product list screen, and then we'll just go and say the first thing is the when, right? When I have a mock that particular iProduct service dot the get product with this query it's called, then I want to return something from here, then answer, and then the answer should be of the asynchronous call. And I can remove this one from here, and from here I will just return the success, because you can see it's returned the success or the failure of the product model. So now I can pass in this particular product model over here, that will return us whenever we are going to make a call to our get product function from our iProduct service. So once we have that, next thing is that we need to mock our if you go over here, we need to mock this particular controller itself. So let's copy the whole thing from here, and let's go and paste it over here. So let us arrange this properly, and then the first thing is I'll just make it as a mock. It should be of the mock the product controller, right, provider. And let's import this state notifier provider. Let's import all of these packages that are required. Product state is also required, import that one, and finally we will import this one too. And then I can also import this one. This is also another function, the extension function, and here I don't need to have this particular ref.watch, because this product service provider is already the particular class that providing is already mock. So I just need to pass in the mock class over here, and that should be good to go. So we have it, and then what we will do is, once we have this particular controller over here, what we need to do is we need to pump that particular widget. So the setup is already done over here, and let's go and await it first of all, and then we need a mock image, mock network image over here, and this is the one that is going to help us to mock that particular network image call. If it doesn't mock that call, and then you are going to get an error over here. So once we have the mock of the network object service, what will this we need a tester dot the pump the particular widget. So we are going to pump the widget over here, and we will require a provider scope over here. And this provider scope, let's arrange it properly. In the child, what we need is const of the material app. Let's pass in the material app, and the material app as the home, and in the home I'll just pass in the product screen from here. Okay, we are good to go with that. And then this one we also need to override over here. And then what we need to override is we need to override this particular controller. We need to override with this mock controller. So here we can just say product controller dot override with provider, and this is the provider that we need to override, because we don't want to have an actual call for this controller. So whenever this controller is used, we want to make sure that we use a mock service over here, which provides us the mock object. And then once we are done with that, let me arrange this one properly. And okay, so we are good to go over here. So this should be good enough for us to get started over here. And then the next thing is that let's go down over here, and then what we need to do is we need to pump that particular widget, right? So let's go down, await, and the tester dot the pump over here, and I will use a pump and settle to let's use a pump and settle. Maybe that got some animation, so let's try to use a pump and settle, more safe over here. And after that, what we will do is let's try to run and test run this one, and let's see if we get any error over here. So let's run it and let's see. And we got some error over here, so let's go and see what was the error. And I guess I made a mistake over here. This one should be inside this one, not the outside. So I guess that is the error over there, because I put it in the wrong order over here, because we need to put it inside, and we need to pump that particular widget over here, not the outside. So let's wait for this one again, and you can see we get a green check mark now. So that was my mistake over there. So next thing is, once we have that, what we need to do is we need to check that how many product is actually shown over here. So if you see over here in the screen, you can see 1 2 3 4 and the 5 6, I guess. So let's see how many of the product that you can check over here on the screen. And to see that one, what we will do is we'll try to see if that image are particularly shown. So if we go to this product list, it's actually using the card for that one. So we will see if that card is available for us on the screen. So we will see that. Let's go over here, and we'll just say expect. What we want to expect is by the type. So let's find by the type, and then the type will be of the card, right? So CR the card. Let's import that card, and the matcher, I'll just say find. I want to find the n number of the widget over there. So let's say we want to find the widget of each of us 6. And let's try to run and see if that is able to find the card type of the on the screen at least 6 widget, right? So we are saying that we need to find that type of the card, each of the 6. So let's see over here, and we get the correct, which means that it was the card type was 6. And if we set it to the 4, and let's try to run this one, that will probably fail the test case, because we just passed with the 6 card type. And if you want to find the actual, like calculate how many of the card screen was actually shown, you see we get an error, and it says that actually it found a 6, but we were finding the 4. So if you go to the product list, and you can see that we have a height of this particular card is in 150 for the image view. So total it may be around 150, 60 or 70, around 170 for the height. Let me arrange this one. Let me grab this one a little bit. Let me arrange this one over here. So if you see that this is the card view with the image is of 150, with this and this it may be around another 20 to 30, so which means around 170 to 80 over there. So what we need to do over there is let's go over here and let's try to arrange that one. Let me arrange it properly, and now let's try to find out the width or the height of that particular test case over here. So what we will do is we'll try to find the height first of all. So let's go over here and try to the EBUG debug over here. Let's use the EBUG debug print over here, and with this debug print I can print some information over here. So let's get the final let's say size, and sorry, Sij is size, which is of equals, so I can get it from the tester tester dot the I can get the particular I can use the binding, so it's similar to the widget binding, and I can get the window size from here, and then I can get the physical phys physical size. I can guess the physical size over here, and that will give us the value over here. So the size, let me arrange it this one, and once I have this particular size I can just go and print out and see if what is the size that we get over here. Just run and see, and here you can see we get the size of the 2400 and the 1800. So this is the width and the height of that particular device. It is actually testing, and it is using for the test. So this is the size of that particular device, and we can get the size of for this one we can also get the size of this particular widget, so which is of the grid view. So we want to see how what is the size of this particular grid view from here to here and from here to here. So you can actually calculate the card that are displayed over here. So with this grid view height we can actually get some rough calculation to get the how many card are actually shown over there. So we can just go and get the final let's say grid size. So that will be of the we can get it from the tester, and then I can use the get the size from here, and with this tester get size I can find by the type, and can use the type over here. So type will be of this particular widget. I want to find this grid view, so let's find this grid view over here, and let me import this one. And once I have that, what I can do is I can find the I can use the find by size and dot the to string. So let's get the size over here, and let's debug print that one too. So let me print that one over here, which will have a grid size, and let's try to run and see what is the size that we will get over here. And here you can see we get the size of the 800 is the width, and the height is of 544. So with this 544 height you can actually calculate how many widget of that particular card view is shown. So you can just do the some rough calculation, which is of 150 and 150 into the 3, right? So 150 into 3 is around the 450, and 450 plus the another 60, right? So this gives you around the 500 something, right? 520 or something. So in this way you can just see that it will show 3 and 3 in the vertical over here, so which means 1 2 3, and that will be around the 3 and 3, so total should be around 6 card. So that way you can just do a rough calculation over there, and it may not be a correct one, but you may get some rough calculation over there, so how to get that particular widget over there. And that's once we get all of those information, what we can do is that I want to find some information over there. So let's open up our this particular response, and in this response let's try to find some information that we want to find. So let's go down and see. Let's try to find this one. So I wonder what. So let's say if we can find that particular over here. So that is on the second the grid over here, right? So let's try to find this one if we can find. And let's copy this text from here, and we want to find that. And let's go over here, and I will use expect directly, expect the find.the text, and then in the text I will just pass in that particular information. I want to find that, and I'll just say find one widget over there, and let's try to find one widget over here, and let's try to see if we go down, and this should be of the 1 2 3 4, right, and the 5 and the 6. So 6 is actually shown on the screen, and if we use 7 and 8, so this is the number 8, so it should not be on this particular screen, right? So we don't want to see this particular value on the screen. So let's see that we want to say that I want to find this widget with sorry, it should be of that particular text. So let's copy this one and let's paste it over here. I'm doubtful, and okay, so this should be of the double quote, not the single quote. Okay, so I want to find nothing over here. So since this is in the 8, the card view is on the 8, so it should not be visible on the screen, right? So that is what we are trying to say over here. So let's try to run this test case, and let's see if we are able to get that one. And let's wait for it to complete. And here we got an error. It says that actual matching, no matching widget on the widget. Actually exact one widget, so it found the one widget, but okay, so let me see the test case. Okay, I guess it's this one, so which means that I wonder that this is the first one, right? So it should be found. So we just say found nothing, so it should be of a find one widget, right? So let's try to run it again. So it should be a found a one widget, because this is already in the 2nd place and this is on the 8th place, so we should not find that one. So let's wait for that one to run and see if we are able to get it passed over here. And here we go. Over here we can see that we have successfully passed that particular test case. So what we need to do next is we need to scroll, right, and we need to find that particular text. So let's go down, and I'll just say await over here. Let's say await over here, and let's try to see tester, sorry, not the test case, it should be of the tester. Why I'm typing it wrong over here, tstr tester dot, and then I need to find it okay, so I need to drag that particular things over here, right? So this one I need to drag some up to I guess around this level, and I need to find that particular text. I'm doubtful, so I need to drag from here, drag drag from here, and I need a finder. So I need to find that particular what I want to drag. I want to drag each this particular widget, right? So I want to drag this one. So this is a scrollable widget, so I need to drag this one. So let's go and find this particular widget from here, finder, and then I need to provide the const of the offset. So offset is the x and the y, so we need to provide the x and the y. So x and y, x is in this way and the y is in this way, right? So this is a horizontal, and the x is always in the horizontal and the y is in the vertical. So vertical is a y and then the x is in the horizontal. So you need to remember, so 0 and 0 is always here. X, if I say here a 0 and if I say here a 0, and that 0 0 means that I'm on this particular location over here on the top right corner of 0, and the 0 is always here. So that is the screen starting point, right? And if I want to move this one to the, I want to scroll up, so it means that I'm not moving in the this horizontal line, I'm moving in the vertical over here. So which means that I need to provide the y, and if I'm moving up, which means I'm going from here, this is a 0, so I'm going up. So up means a 0, negative, right? So it's a negative value. When you go up, it means it's going off of the screen, so it's a negative value. If it goes down, that means it's a positive value, because if you want to go to the y, it's a downward, right? So downward is a y, and if that is a positive value, and if you go upward of the y, that means a negative value, right? So if you go in this way and this is a horizontal in this way, that will be of your positive value for the x. But if you go off of the screen, that means you are on the negative of the offset, right? So that should be of a negative value. So currently we start with the 0 from here for the x, and then y we want to move, let's say minus let's give something as a 200. So we set the offset of let's move around 200 from here, right? So 200, maybe I'm not sure, that is quite a bit math of the calculation, but I'm not sure if that will be available. It will move till somewhere here, and see, we can able to see that particular view over here. So let's guess that that will be around 200. So let's try to run that one, and I also need to run that, since this is animation, I'll just say tester dot pump and settle, or you can use a pump or pump and settle. So let's try the pump and the settle to be more safe. So what I will do is I'll go and run this particular test case from here again, and here you go, we have successfully passed that particular test case, which means that when we move, or when we drag that particular grid view to the offset of 0 to the x and the minus 200 to the y, we were able to find that particular widget over here, right? Okay, so we did not actually expect that one, so I made a mistake over here. So once I have that pump and settle, I need to find that, so I need to find at least one widget over here. So we forgot to put in over there. Let's try to run it one more time, and let's see if it is able to pass it. And yeah, that's cool. So we were able to find that particular widget when we move it to, and when we drag it. So that's cool. So just remember that the things that you need to remember with the offset is, it's always start with the x and the y. X and the y is always over here, so this is the 0 and 0. And then if you want to move to the x, which means that if you give 100 this one, that if you give a 100 of this the x over here, that means it's going to move in this what, so in the horizontal direction. So it's maybe somewhere here will be over 100. But if you set it as a minus 100, then that will be go off of the screen, and it will be somewhere here. So it's off of the screen, offside of the screen, not inside the screen. So the things that we need to remember is of that one. And also when you set the y over here, y is always on this vertical direction. Okay, so y is in the vertical direction, and if you say positive number, it's going this particular downward, and when you say a negative number, it's going the off of this particular screen. So if you know that, and if you know what is the offset over here, then you will have pretty good time to figure it out, the location over here. And then once we have that, let's the next thing that we can test over here is we want to scroll to the end, right? So if you go to a particular response, we want to scroll that particular to the end of the scroll view, and we want to find the last. Let's go and find the last one. So let's go over here, and let's try to find something. Maybe we will find in somewhere in the middle over here, and let's try to see which one we can find somewhere in the middle, so it can scroll at least in the middle, right? So let's go in the middle over there, and let's try to see if we can find this particular text. So let's go over here, and we want to drag that one, right? So we want to continuously drag until we found that particular the text. So let's go down over here, and let's say I'll use await and the tester, and the drag. There is a value of a drag until visible. So we will use a drag until visible. So finder is this particular finder, right? So we want to drag this one. Oh no, so this is the view. So this is our view, not the finder. This is our view, and then the finder will be our text. So I need to find a text. Just copy this one, and this is the okay. So I made a mistake over here. So this is our text that we are going to find, and this will be our view, and this will be our movie steps. So let me arrange it properly first of all, and let's go over here and find that particular text we need to find. So all this time, so let's try to drag it somewhere over there, and let's try to find that particular text from here. And this is the offset. So if you see over here again, that is the move step is also an offset again. So we need to provide the offset again over here. So if you know already, we need to go negative. So if you want to drag up, so if you want to scroll, we are always on the negative, because the screen is going upward in the off of this particular screen. So what we will do is we will just say this is as a const value, sorry, con const, and will be of the offset over here again. And so again we need to provide the x. So let's say x is not important for us, we'll just provide a 0 from here, and then y value is important for us. So let's drag, you can start with the 100, or maybe you can pass in 200. So let's say we pass in the 100, so it's going to drag it until it's visible. So it's going to scroll in this way, and then it's going to find that particular text. So let's say if we are going to pass that particular case, so let's run this one, and let's hold on, and yeah, finally you can see we were able to pass in, and we were able to find that particular text we using the drag until. So if we change this particular text over here, like some extra text that is not in that particular response JSON file, so that should fail our test case over here. So just run it one more time, and let's try to wait and see if we able to get that one. And here you see that it was able to fail that particular test case because it didn't found that particular text that we were looking for. So which means that I can just remove this one from here, right? And then what we can do next thing is that if you want to test with a smaller device, let's say it's just which is just showing over here maybe a 4 or maybe just a 2, you just want to decrease the size, because by default it is giving us the big screen over here, right? So this is a 2400 by the 1800, the size of that particular device. So if you want to decrease it, you can just go before you pump that particular widget over here, and you can use the wait function, and you can just say the tester dot the binding. I guess it should be her binding. It's the widget binding that we are getting, and the window, and then the physical physil physical test value. So you can actually, this is a setter, and you can actually set a value over here. So I can use the const of the size, and here I can pass in the width and the text. So let's say I want to pass in something like a 1920 by something like 1080, and that should be the smaller screen, and I guess it's not the width. Okay, so now if you let's go over here, and let's try to comment out this one, otherwise it's going to fail that particular test case. And this one also we'll try to reduce to the 4, or let's say it's a 4, and let's try to see if we can able to pass that one, and let's see what is the width and the height that we will be getting over there. And now you can see that we set the size of the 1920 by 1080, and you get the size of 640 by 304. So if you see that, if you can calculate, then you should know already, and that should be around we found a 4 widget, that means it should be of a 1 and 2. So you should get a 1 2 3 4, and that should be of if you divide it by the width that we have provided over here, which is of around 150 plus another 20 is 170, and 170 into 2 is around something this 300 or something, right? So that should be the one that we need to test over here. So you can just go and try and test it by yourself, and let's try to comment up all of this, because we don't want to set the device size over here. So this is all that I want to show you over here. So how we can test that particular image view, grid view, or any other scroll view that we can test over here, and also how to set up the size and the device size that you can set up over here manually, and also to how to get all of those size of the view or the widget that we need. We are getting the size of this particular grid view, right? So that's the things that we actually need on the particular grid view or the list view testing over there. And also we mock some of the classes, and the main takeaway from this lesson is to see how we can set the size of the test device, how we can get the size of the test device, and then how we can drag here, and how we can still continuously drag until we find some of the given condition over here. So I guess that's all for this lesson, and we'll meet up in the next lecture. Till then, have a great day.